Hi everyone. I had an extremely long weekend, but an exciting one to say the very least. I'm really tired right now because it's almost midnight and I should be getting to bed because I have to work tomorrow, but I wanted to tell everybody about my experience of going to Marilyn Manson. Now, I've been to Manson a few times before in my life, and I went last year, May 18th. He performed at the Myth in Minnesota, and that is where I saw him again this year. There had been speculation that he, is touring with Alice Cooper, in which I think he was at one point, but actually Alice Cooper played a separate show than, the one he was supposedly supposed to do with Manson, but that was a whole other thing. And the opening band for Manson that, he had perform during this show, I didn't really dig them as much as I wanted to. I actually wanted to like them, but the chick singer, I don't even remember the name of the band, to be honest. That's how memorable they were. And to me, the band was no different than any other Screamo type sounding band out there. And Screamo is not my thing, so that's probably why I didn't really even like the band to begin with. But the chick threw me off. It was a chick lead singer. She had this short platinum blonde hair, and it was in a faux hawk. She looked okay, but I mean, her voice was just way too similar to Hayley Williams of Paramore. And I mean, I've gone way out of the whole Paramore phase. I used to be a huge fan, and if you check on some of my videos on here, you will see, yeah, I've seen Paramore live. I got to meet them, but this band just wasn't great. She seemed like she was trying too hard. But anyways, enough about them, because this is about Marilyn Manson. Now, if any of you have ever seen Marilyn Manson live, you know exactly what to expect at one of his shows. I will just say firsthand that his shows are fucking insane. I can't even tell you, but you get to know people really, really fast, because you are basically gangbanged in the mosh pit if you go into the mosh pit. And on the sidelines and everything like that, that's a whole other story. But inside of the pit, where you are close to Marilyn Manson, that is insane. And I can't believe I stuck it out. But it was a great show. He puts so much effort into what he does. And I know he gets a lot of hate because he's so notorious. He's known for so many things, and religious groups out there try so hard to bring him down in his message. But I personally, as a fan, stick up for him and his beliefs. And honestly, I love him for what he stands for, because it's completely different than what everybody thinks it is. So as a true Manson fan, I stand behind him 100%. Actually, it's not even standing behind. I stand next to him, because that's how much I really enjoy him as a person. And just like everybody out there in the world, he is a person, and maybe he's had some really fucked up experiences that no one should really ever have to go through, or shouldn't to begin with. However, he's lived to tell this, and he expresses that through his art. And I appreciate that he is so strong about what he believes in. And he's a great person, and he fights for a lot of things that he believes in. And that is why he has so many fans. So anyways, the show was crazy. It was great. I was covered in confetti and fucking toilet paper. I looked like a human disco ball by the time I was done. But it was actually really funny, because everybody knows that Manson rips up Bibles at his concert. And he does it at pretty much everyone that I've been to. I don't know if he does it everywhere else, but I assume he does. And he throws out the Bible for somebody to catch. That is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, which I just am always looking forward to every time I go to his concert. Well, by this time when he was doing that, I had just gotten out of the pit, and I was peeling off this freaking, it was squared confetti silver, and it was bright, and like I said, I looked like a human disco ball. And I was just standing out of the mosh pit, just like peeling it off of me, and it just wouldn't go away. I was standing there and I thought the show was over because he seemed like he was going to get out of there. But then people were screaming so much for an encore, and next thing you know, he comes out with the podium and he was singing Antichrist Superstar, which, you know, when he gets on the podium, you know, he drops down the mics, everybody starts going, hey, you know. It's the start of it, and that's when he usually goes to page of the Bible and rip it up and then throw it out. Well, by this time, I had turned around because I heard some commotion by this couple. I really don't know what they were shouting about, but it caught my attention. And I turned around, and next thing I know, Manson takes the Bible, throws it out, and it smacks me in the back of the head. And so I look down, and lo and behold, here's the Bible. This was chucked at my head. I was surprised that no one tried to rip it out of my hands or, you know, try to beat me up for it. Because at one point, you know, with one of his sweat towels, he wipes himself off with and throws in the crowd. I had caught that at first, but I was in the pit, so there were so many people clawing at me to get this fucking towel that I was just so fed up. I was just like, take it. Just please take it. And then shortly after, I just wanted to get out of the pit so that I could peel off this glitter. I don't like it personally on me. I like it on certain things, but just not on me because it just irritates me, especially when it's really chunky. But it's not even like glitter, it's confetti. Confetti bothers me to that extent. So I had to get out of there because it was so irritating. I just had to peel it off. And so, yeah, by that time I went out and I just completely, you know, I was just like, yeah, I got to get this glitter off of me. This is the end anyways. And then he starts Antichrist Superstar and I get this Bible chucked in my head. It's like, the power of Christ compels you. That's basically how I felt. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance, people. If you ever get a chance to snatch up a Manson ripped Bible, do it. It's part of history, a part of a moment. And he only throws out one at every show. So if you catch it, you are lucky. And I was super excited. I was ecstatic. You know, I've had offers from people to buy it off of me. And, you know, as nice as the money sounded, I just couldn't part with it. I really don't think I ever will. But I had people coming up to me asking to touch it. Like, it was crazy. I just, you know, it was really awesome to see, you know, fans coming up. Like, look at this. Ripped up. It is so cool. Like, this is a great moment to have this. Like, my life seemingly feels complete. And, you know, they're just standard little Bibles like this. I mean, I was expecting, like, one of those hardcover ones that they have at the hotels in the drawers right next to the beds. Actually, I'm a housekeeper, so I see them every day because I have to check those drawers and make sure, you know, everything's in it. But, oh, it's a nice quality Bible. It's really cool, very standard, and it's very Manson. I am super excited to own this. And, you know, honestly, I would love to know how much it would go for on eBay because it's just curiosity. I mean, I don't expect much out of it, but I'm sure anybody who's diehard for Manson would pay any price to have something like this. But personally, the only true way to have one of these is to go and get it. I didn't expect to catch this because usually... Honestly, I thought it wasn't even gonna be that hard of a chuck. Like, he literally, like, chucked it. I was like, holy freak. But definitely, honestly, I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna look at this video and be like, girl, what were you thinking? And why would you want to own this? You know, I was fortunate enough to be a part of a family that, you know, was really into faith, but didn't ever shove it down my throat. And, you know, there have been people that have tried to send me towards that religious direction, but I've always thought for myself. And that's basically how I really got into Manson when I was younger, is because he was a very free thinker, and he really opened my eyes about what a lot of people say and how much religion is involved in life. God is an excuse, people. But I'm not going to like put it down just because other people believe in it. Choose to believe what you want. That's the real way to be human, really. Think for yourself. So I'm super ecstatic to have that. I can hardly even believe it still, but it was a great concert. If you've ever been to Manson, you will understand. And if you are open-minded enough, I encourage you to go to a show. But, I mean, if you really want to know him more on a personal level, I mean, you'd probably have to hang out with him. But the closest thing that I've encountered to getting personal with him is his book, which is called The Long Hard Road Out of Hell. And it's a great read, whether you want to believe what he says or not. I actually put all this, what I said and more, on my blog. If you want to check that out, I encourage you to, because I'm probably going to be on there a lot more than here. I have more of a tendency to say things more clear in writing than I actually do on video. If you can't tell, my words become really frazzled, but I will link it. So I'm Josie, and I'll see you when you see me. Bye.